Good morning, class. For the last 2 weeks, we have discussed about bank reconciliation and all about the effects of the reconciling items sa ating books at saka sa bank statement. So ano nga ba ang kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng bank reconciliation? Siyempre, kailangan natin gawin ito monthly para masiguro natin na yung balanse natin sa ating cash ayon sa ating libro at gayon din yung nasa bank statement ay pareho. So, kapag may discrepancy, kailangan nating i-reconcile. Kaya nga siya tinawag na reconciliation. So now, we have our new topic which is all about business taxation. So we will discuss principles and processes of income and business taxation. So today, it's only just the principles at saka kung paano ginagawa, ano ba ang proseso nito. Okay? Sa nakikita nyo dito sa ating screen, we have these two kinds of forms. The BIR forms 2316 at saka yung BIR form 1700. Kung kayo ay nagtatrabaho na, o let us say kayo ay may employer, kayo ay empleyado sa isang kumpanya. Kapag kayo ay natapos ng mga 1 year or less, kayo ay maaaring bigyan ng inyong employer ng 2316. Ano nga ba ang nilalaman ng BIR Form 2316? At gayon din yung Annual Income Tax Return para sa BIR Form 1700. Kailan ba gagamitin itong BIR Form 1700? So para magkaroon tayo ng idea sa principles ng hindi lang ito ang forms na meron sa BIR. Meron pang iba't ibang forms. Pero dito tayo magko-concentrate bilang mga future potential employees at saka business persons. So, ano nga ba ang term na taxation? So taxation is a system of raising money to finance government expenditures. All governments require payments of money taxes from its people. Government use tax revenues to pay the salaries of the soldiers, police, and teachers, build dams and roads, to operate schools and hospitals, to provide food for the poor and medical care to the elderly, and for hundreds of other purposes. So without taxes to fund for its activities, the government could not exist. So anong ibig sabihin ng taxation? Ito raw yung sistema ng pangongolekta ng estado ng pera mula sa mga tao. Ano ang purpose? Para mapondohan, magamit para sa pagbabayad ng mga sweldo ng nasa gobyerno, like yung ating mga pulis, yung ating mga sundalo, yung ating mga teachers. Gagamitin ang perang ito para naman sa pagpapatayo ng mga infrastructure at iba't ibang mga government projects. At gayon din ang pagpopondo para sa ating schooling, no? Yung mga public schools or public hospitals at saka sa pagtulong sa mga nangangailangan, pagbibigay ng kapag nagkaroon ng calamity, di ba? Nagbibigay tayo ng donations. Gayon din sa medical care para sa elderly at sa iba't ibang mga tao. So sabi rito, without taxes to fund for its activities, government could not exist. Bakit? Kasi wala silang panggagastos para ma-provide ang pangangailangan ng mga tao. So kinakailangan talaga ang taxation para may pera ang gobyerno. O wag nyo na lang isipin na ang perang mga nakokolekta ay nakukurakot. O wag nyo na lang isipin, pero that's possible na nangyayari pa rin. Okay? Income tax is defined as the tax on the net income or entire income realized in one taxable year. So kapag tayo ay kumikita, tayo ay pinapatawan ng tax. So the principles of taxation, unang-una, benefit received principle. Receive states that the citizens of the country who benefits from the goods and services should pay in proportion to the amount of benefits they receive. Give and take lang yan, guys. Diba? Tayo ay nagbe-benefit, tayo ay nakakatanggap ng services mula sa gobyerno, nakakatanggap tayo ng goods mula sa ating government, tayo rin naman ay magbibigay. At iyon ay sa pamamagitan ng ating taxes. And number 2, ability to pay principle. It states that citizens should be taxed according to their ability to pay. The more money you have, the more money you should pay. So napakadaling intindihin, di ba? Pagka tayo ay may pera, may pambayad tayo. So habang lumalaki ang pera nyo, dumadami ang pera nyo, the more money you have, the more money you should pay. So, kaya mamaya guys, makikita nyo yung tinatawag nating graduated na termino, no, pagdating sa taxation. So, basta lumalaki ang kita, lumalaki rin ang tax na binabayaran. So, the principles of a sound tax system, unang-una, fiscal adequacy. Ibig lamang sabihin nito na yung tax na nakokolekta ay enough na magagamit ng gobyerno para sa pagbibigay serbisyo sa mga tao. Di ba? Kasya kumbaga. Para doon sa fiscal year. Ayan, no? Creating new taxes or by merely changing the rates applicable to existing taxes. Kung kinukulang ng pera, anong pwedeng gawin? Mag-create ng bagong tax or taasan ang existing rates. Paano mag-create? Sa pamamagitan ng ating law-making body. Number 2, equality or theoretical justice is based from the ability to pay theory. The more money you have, the more taxes you pay. Equality, di ba? Hindi natin masasabing equal or masasabi nating injustice ito kung ang mga mabababa ang kita ay sila pa ang mas matataas na binabayad na tax. Pangatlo, administrative feasibility. Ibig lang sabihin ay easy to enforce. Okay? The collection system must not be hard for both the government and other people. Hindi mahirap unawain, hindi mahirap i-implement. Okay? Madaling maintindihan ng lahat ng mga tao o mga taxpayer. At ano pa? Uniform enforcement. Pare-pareho, pantay-pantay, patas. At hindi, ano pa, sabi, and not unduly burdensome upon or discouraging to business activity. Hindi ito makakapag-discourage na ang mga negosyante ay hindi na magnegosyo. Yan. Okay? Wag naman, yun ang sinasabi rito. No? Wag maging discouragement ang ating tax system para ang ating mga negosyante ay mag-stop or huminto na sa pagnenegosyo. So, base doon sa ating mga narinig na principles, no? Ito yung essential characteristics of tax. It is an enforced contribution, enforced o puwersahan sa madaling salita. Kaya nga tayo ay nagpa-file every year. Okay, yung mga negosyo, mga kumpanya dyan, paanong maipapatupad yung enforced contribution? Ino-audit sila ng BIR. At kapag sila ay na-audit at sila ay hindi nagbayad o kaya or yung tinatawag nating tax evasion o kaya naman sila ay may kulang sa kanilang ibinayad base sa audit ng BIR, sila ay kakasuhan. Ganyan. Kaya enforced contribution yan. It is generally payable in money. Of course, payable by money. It is proportionate in character. Okay, proportionate do. Kung ang kita mo ay lumalaki rin ang binabayad mong tax. Levied on persons or property. Sino ang tinatax? Yung tao mismo na kumikita. At gayon din yung iyong ari-arian. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Meron tayong tinatawag na amilyar. Diba? Every year, nagbabayad tayo ng amilyar sa ating building, sa ating bahay, sa ating lupa. Yan, property. It is levied by the state which has jurisdiction over the person or property. Kung sino ang nakakasakop sa'yo, siya ang magtatax sa'yo. Yung mga amilyar natin sa Quezon City halimbawa, na doon ka magbabayad sa Quezon City, ang mga amilyar na ang property ay nasa Caloocan, magbabayad. It is levied by the lawmaking body of the state. Ang tax natin ay isinasa batas. Pinapasa ng mga congressman ng ating mga senador upang maipatupad as batas. Yan, law-making body of the state. So, yung lifeblood theory na tinatawag sa tax, sabi lifeblood theory, like blood, which acts as a support to every human organ, so it could perform every duty inside the body. Ganyan daw yung ating dugo. Vital. It acts as support to every human organ para tayo ay mabuhay. Ganyan din naman yung tax. It is the blood which supports the government and state. The government cannot continue to perform its basic functions of serving and protecting its people without means to pay for its expenses. Pag walang pera ang gobyerno, paano nito maibibigay ang needs ng kanyang mga nasasakupang mga tao? Yung medical, yung mga pagtulong mula sa kalamidad, yan. Kung walang pondo ang gobyerno, hindi ito makakapag-operate. So consequently, the state has the right to compel all its citizens and property within its limits to contribute. Kaya nga, ang tax ay enforceable. The three inherent powers of the state, ito ay tinalakay nyo sa Philippine Politics and Governance at gayon din sa Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. So we have the police power. It is the power of the state for promoting public welfare by restraining and regulating the use of liberty and property. Diba meron tayong mga pulis? Kasi tayo ay may kalayaan bilang tao. Pero syempre, para hindi tayo umabuso, andyan ang nagko-control sa atin. Kaya mayroong mga pulis para hindi natin abusuhin yung ating mga karapatan or yung tinatawag nating liberty. Okay? It may be exercised only by the government. The property taken in the exercise of the power is destroyed because it is noxious or intended for a noxious purpose. Power of taxation, pangalawang, power of the state. It is the power by which the state raises revenue to defray the necessary expenses of the government. Ayan, ipinapasa yan, isinasabatas yan. Power of eminent domain. It is the power of the state to acquire private property for public purpose upon payment of just compensation. Ibig sabihin, may kapangyarihan ng gobyerno na i-acquire yung private property mo, gagawa ng kalsada, gagawa ng highway. Pero siyempre, may just compensation. May kabayaranan. Babayaran mo doon sa may-ari. Kung yung kagaya ng mga property ng mga kuwangkon, mga villar, lupa nila na dinaanan ng highway, yan, kailangan ng compensation mula sa gobyerno. At syempre, ang pinaka-importante dyan, kailangan talaga yung property na yon. Now, income tax is a tax on a person's income, emoluments, profits arising from property. Profits arising from property. Practice of profession. conduct of trade or business or on the pertinent items of gross income specified in the Tax Code of 1997 as amended. Okay, less the deductions, if any, authorized for such types of income by the Tax Code as amended or otherwise special laws. Mula doon sa ating tax code, so sabi yung income tax, ito yung mga tax na pinapataw doon sa ating income, whether gross or net income. Yung mula doon sa tax code or special laws. So, who are required to pay income tax in the Philippines? Individuals. Sino sa individuals? Resident citizens receiving income from sources within or outside the Philippines. Resident citizens, mga nakatira dito. No? Tapos kumikita, ang kita nila ay nagmumula sa within the Philippines or outside the Philippines. Okay? May negosyo rito or may negosyo sa Pilipinas o sa ibang bansa. Okay? O kaya naman kumikita rito, empleyado rito, o kaya naman tapos kumikita pa siya sa ibang bansa. Employees deriving purely compensation income from two or more employers concurrently or successively at any time during the taxable year. Okay, yung individual o bawat isa na empleyado at ang kinikita nila ay mula lamang sa compensation or sweldo. It may be yung isang employer lang within the year or mas maraming employer, two or more employers in a given taxable year. So, employees deriving purely compensation income regardless of the amount, whether from a single or several employers. Ayan na nga yun. Self-employed individuals, ito yung mga may negosyo. Ano pa? Individuals deriving mixed income. Ibig sabihin, kumikita ka na sa negosyo mong sarili, meron ka pang halimbawa, sumasideline ka, meron ka pang nagpa-part-time job ka, mayroon kang employer. So, yon, compensation at saka yung ginagawang sarili mong business o kaya naman yung pagpapractice ng iyong profession. Halimbawa, ikaw ay accountant, ikaw ay, di ba, meron ka mga kliyente, freelance accountant, ayan, di ba, tapos binabayaran ka sa iyong services. Individuals deriving other non-business, non-professional related income in addition to compensation income not otherwise subject to a final tax. Okay? Basta yung kung ano man yung makinikita mo, no? Ito yung tinutukoy dito sa individual na ito. So, non-resident citizens receiving income from sources within the Philippines. Aliens, so ibig sabihin foreigners, whether resident or not, receiving income from sources within the Philippines. So, ito yung mga foreigner na kumikita sa Pilipinas. Non-individuals, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga kumpanya, korporasyon, including partnership, no matter how created or organized. SGV and company, o kaya yung mga law firms, usually mga partnership yan. Domestic corporations receiving income from sources within and outside the Philippines. Ito mga korporasyon pero na kumikita mula sa Pilipinas at outside the Pilipinas. Pero yung mga korporasyon na to, domestic to. Ibig sabihin, dito sa Pilipinas to, local. Foreign corporations receiving income from sources within the Philippines. So para sa individual, itong foreign corporations, kapag sila ay kumikita within the Philippines, like yung mga nasa EPSA o yung mga multinational companies, yung ating mga gasoline stations, Petron, Chevron, Shell, yan. Foreign corporations yan. Pero dito sila kumikita sa Pilipinas. So dapat sila ay magbayad ng tax. Estates and trusts engaged in trade or business. Yan. Ito yung mga estates and trusts. Third party yan. List of sources of gross income ayon sa National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. Compensation for services in whatever form paid, including but not limited to fees, salaries, wages, commissions, and similar items. Pangalawa, gross income derived from the conduct of trade or business or the exercise of profession. Pangatlo, yung dealings in property. Halimbawa, nangungumisyon o kaya naman nagbenta ka ng iyong property. So, yun ay subject sa 6% capital gains tax. For individuals and for corporation if land and building is not used in business. So, capital gains tax, 6% yan ha. Interest, note, generally subject to 20% final withholding tax. Ito yung, halimbawa, yung mga deposit mo sa bangko na kumikita ng interest. Diba? Interest-bearing deposit sa bangko, yung mga savings deposits mo. Kikita ka ng interest dyan, pero babawasan ng 20% final withholding tax. Pag sinabi natin final tax, hindi siya kasama doon sa, yung pinakita ko kanina, di ba? Yung sa Form 1700. No, BIR Form 1700. Okay? Hindi na siya dapat maisama pa doon. Kasi, sa una pa lang, binawas na yung 20% final tax. Kaya nga guys, kung kayo ay magtatrabaho sa bangko at kayo ay accountant doon, makikita nyo yan. Meron kayong may interest expense kayo na ito ay binibigay mo doon sa mga depositor, pero yung interest expense na yun ay babawasan din ng 20% para naman ibayad sa BIR. Yun yung final tax sa mga interest. Sabi ko nga, final tax, hindi na yan magre-reflect pa doon sa binabayad natin sa annual income tax. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na withholding tax like sa ating sweldo later on. Okay? So, basta yan ang final tax sa interest. At syempre, kumikita rin tayo mula sa mga renta. Ayan. So, subject din sa income tax yan. Royalties, note, generally subject to 20% final withholding tax, 10% if from books and literary works. So, usually 15% ang kinikita ng mga copyright holders, okay, sa royalties. So, babawasan naman yung kanilang 15% na royalties ng 20% final tax din. Pero sabi, kung mga libro daw yan at mga literary works, 10% ang binabawas para sa tax. Dividends, note, generally subject to 10% final withholding tax for individuals, tax exempt for corporation. So, annuities, prizes and winnings, ayan, 20% final tax din yan. Kaya kung kayo ay nanalo sa loto ng 1 million, ang makukuha nyo na lang ay 800,000. Kasi, binawas na yung 20% final tax. Dagdag ko ha, yung pagdating sa gobyerno, yung government accounting, bawat ibabayad ng gobyerno sa mga contractor, sa mga private corporations, binabawas agad nila ang tax na kailangan nilang ikubra. Ganyan sa gobyerno, naninigurado. Partners distributive share from pension ng mga yung mga nag-retire. Kasama yan sa sources of gross income. Partners distributive share from the net income of the general professional partnership. Yung mga magpa-partners dyan, yung kita nila, pinaghatian, distributive share. So the list of gross income enumerates the sources of income for both individuals and businesses, except for compensation and income derived from trade or business. Other income sources are generally subject to final withholding tax on passive income. These income sources are subject to regular income tax rate only if the source did not meet the exact specifications of income subject to final tax as expressed in the law. So, may mga, kagaya ng mga nabanggit natin, may mga provision, kung ano-ano yun, nakalista, na sinasubject nga sa final tax. Otherwise, ay mapupunta sa income tax. Okay? Yung income tax, para sa individual, para sa mga negosyo, meron silang certain percentage, siguro mga 30 to 35% of their taxable income. Sa compensation income tayo, employed individuals that earn compensation income pay their income taxes monthly. So ito yung mga may trabaho, may employers. Kaya meron, pagka nakita nyo guys, yung payslip, kung maaalala nyo yung sa inyong business math. Sa payslip, makikita nyo, binawas ang withholding tax. Pero may mga, bukod pa doon, binawasan din sila ng mga benefits na yung kanilang share sa SSS, sa pag-ibig, sa PhilHealth. Yung mga yun ay hindi taxable. So, kapag ka yung iyong income, gross income less yung mga non-taxable benefits na yon equals taxable income. So, dyan ko computein yung income mo. Ayan. So, sabi rito, no, monthly, binabawasan tayo ng withholding tax. Okay? Hindi siya withholding final tax. Withholding tax. May portion lang na ibinabawas para i-withhold. I-remit agad dyan sa BIR. And then, at the end of the year, ito nga yung nagpa-file tayo ng income tax doon sa 1,700 or income tax return. Doon naman ibabawas yung mga na-withhold na sa iyong income. Pero pagdating sa kung kayo ay merong employer, kayo ay employees, meron tayong tinatawag na BIR Form 2316. Yung nakita nyo kaninang Form 2316. Ano yan? Later on. Philippine Individual Income Tax is progressive. So, habang tumataas ang inyong sweldo, tumataas din ang inyong babayaran tax. Income tax is computed at the end of the year based on all compensation income derived during the year. So, yung monthly na binabawas, withholding lang yon. Pero, ang computation niyan ay based on your annual income tax. So, halimbawa, ang annual income tax mo ay 250,000. Sabihin natin 300,000. Based doon, kinocompute na yung monthly mo. Kaya, yung withholding tax monthly ay doon nakabase. And then, pag nag-file na kayo, pag nag-file na, nagbabayad na ng income tax, yung kumpanya na pinagtatrabahuhan mo, pagdating ng October or November, kinakailangan medyo, kung sabihin natin example lang, sa 250,000 na tax mo, na income mo, sabihin natin 50,000 ang iyong tax. Okay? Example lang. Okay? Tapos binabawasan ka monthly. Pagdating ng October, November, December, dapat yung nagpe-payroll ay yung ibinabawas niyang monthly ay medyo para makumpleto na yung kabuang 50,000 na nagigets nyo. Kasi kung 50,000 ang iyong karapat dapat bayaran mula dun sa iyong 250,000 na income, dapat October, November, December pa lang ay binabawasan na nila yung iyong sweldo para ma-meet na yung kabuang 50,000. Hahabulin nila yan. Anong purpose? Para wala na tayong tinatawag na tax refund. Kasi kapag may tax refund pa, ang tagal-tagal ng proseso niyan mula sa BIR. Kaya dapat sa end pa lang ng kumpanya, doon pa lang ay maging eksakto na pagdating ng December. Break even, walang tax refund, walang tax payable pa. So yan, trabaho ng nagpe-payroll yan. Kaya ina-adjust yung kanilang, yung withhold na tax every month pagdating ng mga October, November, December para break even na siya. Now, let's talk about train. Ito kasing train ay bago lang, no? Ito yung latest. January 1, 2018. Mula doon sa Revenue Regulations number 8, 2018 on income tax. Ano yung sabihin ng train? Tax reform for acceleration and inclusion. The train aims to make the Philippine tax system simpler, fairer, and more efficient to promote investments, create jobs, and reduce poverty. O pinasimple daw yan. Tapos fair pa. The tax reform for acceleration and inclusion or the Republic Act number 10963 was signed into law by President Duterte on December 19, 2017 and implemented on January 1, 2018. It was the initial package of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program, which aims to rationalize the Philippine tax system. So ayon sa train, individuals earning purely compensation income, yung walang ibang pinagkakakitaan kundi yung sinusweldo lang. Statutory minimum wage. Anong sabi dyan? Minimum wage earners shall be exempt from income tax. Minimum. Sabihin natin, no? Magkano ba minimum sa Metro Manila? 537. So, yun. Yung daily rate na 537, hindi dapat mabawasan ng tax yan. Ano pa? Statutory minimum wage, holiday pay, overtime pay. Dati kasi overtime meron yan. So, tinanggal dyan. Night shift differential pay and hazard pay. So, wala nang tax yan. Minimum wage earners shall be exempt from the payment of income tax on their statutory minimum wage rates. The holiday pay, overtime, and night shift. Ayan. Number 2, husbands and wives shall compute their individual tax separately based on their respective taxable income. Separate daw ang kanilang computation ng kanilang tax kung mag-asawa sila. Kasi kung may magkaiba silang employer, so ganon. If any income cannot be definitely attributed to or identified as income exclusively earned or realized by either of the spouses, anong gagawin? Pag hindi ma-identify kung magkano sa kanya, pagsasamahin na lang yan. Tapos, divide by equally divided between the spouses for the purpose of determining their respective taxable income. So, hinahati na lang. Individuals earning purely compensation income shall be taxed based on the graduated income tax rates. O, yun na nga yung table na makikita nyo mamaya. Habang tumataas ang income, tumataas din ang tax rate. Taxable income for compensation earners is the gross compensation income less non-taxable income benefits such as but not limited to 13-month pay. Tapos yung mga de minimis benefits, employee share sa SSS, GSIS, PhilHealth, pag-ibig contribution. Nakita nyo, na-discuss na ito sa business math nyo, no? Pero yan na yon. Kasi yan ay mga non-taxable income. So, taxable income is computed after deducting personal and additional exemptions. Kasi meron din tayong tinatawag na personal exemptions. Applicable tax rate is applied on the taxable income to get the tax due. The total income tax withheld by the employer is deducted from the tax due to get remaining tax liability by the employee. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. Nagwi-withhold monthly. Pagkatapos ng taon, yung last month, no, dapat ay eksakto na yung tax deducted, no? Eksakto na. At kung 50,000 ang tax due mo sa buong isang taon, dapat 50,000 na yan by computation. So, taxpayers who derive their income solely from compensation are required to file BIR Form 1700 as their income tax returns. However, to give relief to these taxpayers, the employee may present BIR Form 2316 as their income tax return. So, yun lang yung mga purely compensation income, yung merong mga employer at pinapasweldohan sila. Ang mga employer ay nagbibigay ng Form 2316 sa mga empleyado nila. At ito yung pinapile. Ito yung kanilang pinipresent as their income tax return. Kasi doon sa 2316 na yan, nakalahad na dyan kung magkano ang binawas sa'yo sa iyong income at binayaran mong tax. So, yan ay magpapatunay kasi galing yan sa iyong employer. So, BIR Form 2316 is a statement issued by the employer and signed by the employee but not filed with the BIR. This is referred to as substituted filing kasi instead na tayo, mga empleyado, ang pupunta mismo sa BIR at magpa-file, ayan na nga, yung employer na ang nag-file at nagbayad ng tax na dapat ay ikaw ang mismong gagawa. So, yan ay para lamang sa mga may tinatawag na employer. Kaya tawag dyan, substituted filing. So, itong the rest naman na ito, yung tinatawag nating percentage tax or VAT, no? Kasi, kung hindi ikaw VAT, merong mga provision dito, no? Kung hindi ikaw makaklasify sa VAT, ikaw ay makaklasify sa percentage tax, no? 8% on income tax on gross sales, receipts, and other non-operating income in excess of 250,000 in lieu of graduated income tax rates and the percentage tax under Section 116. So, 8% mula sa gross receipts or gross sales. Ibig sabihin yun, guys, no? Kung ikaw ay subject sa 8% tax mula sa iyong gross sales or gross receipts, hindi ka VAT payer o hindi ka na subject sa VAT. Pero kung ikaw naman ay vice versa. Kung hindi ka percentage tax, ikaw ay VAT. So, pinapakita lang dito yung mga rate tsaka yung threshold na 3 million. VAT threshold of 3 million. Then, income tax of mixed income earners. So, yung mga kumikita ng compensation o yung sweldo at saka yung mga nagpa-practice ng profession nila tapos yung mga may business. So, yan din. Graduated income tax rates for individuals, for income from business and or practice of profession. Tapos yung gross sales or VAT. So, business income, tax payments of a business organized as a sole proprietorship are made in the name of its owner. The owner is considered an individual taxpayer who derive income from business. So, yung mga may sari-sari store dyan, yung mga merong tinatawag na single proprietorship business. Okay? Kasi yung mga single proprietorship na to, sila ay hindi sila separate juridical personality, kumbaga. Well, in accounting dapat. Yun ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Sa accounting, dapat separate ang iyong books. Yung gastos mo, hindi gastos ng negosyo mo. Pero pagdating sa pagpapile ng tax, walang sariling tax na ibabayad ang sari-sari store mo tapos iba pa yun sa'yo. So, hindi ganon. Applicable yun sa mga korporasyon. They have the separate juridical personality. So, dito, sa mga ating sari-sari store owners or iba pang mga sole proprietorship business, they are required to file BIR Form 1701. Businesses may settle their income tax liabilities and submit their income tax returns to the government 3 months and 15 days from the close of the year. So, ito yung April 15 para sa mga calendar year businesses, no? On or before April 15, dapat nakapag-file sila at nakapagbayad. A taxpayer who initially presumed that the gross sales receipts for the taxable year and other non-operating income will not exceed the 3 million VAT threshold but has actually exceeded the same during the taxable year. So, VAT ang pinag-usapan dito, VAT at saka gross or percentage tax na tinatawag natin. So, ito, pakita ko yung table. Income tax rates on individual citizens and individual resident alien of the Philippines, revised personal income tax brackets of 2018 hanggang 2022. So, ito yung sinasabi natin, no? Graduated over 250,000 but not over 400,000. Magkano tax? 20% of the excess over 250,000. So, therefore, 250,000 and below, non-taxable. Tapos ito, over 400,000 but not over 800,000. Meron kang 30,000 pesos na imposed tax plus pa yung 25% in excess of 400,000. Yun. Sa 800,000 but not over 2 million, may fix ka ng babayaran 130,000 na tax. Tapos, plus 30% nung sobra sa 800,000. And so on and so forth. Yan ay Table 1. Table 2, revised withholding tax table. Ito naman, withholding tax. So, we have this category na daily, merong weekly, merong semi-monthly, at meron ding monthly. So, may mga range yan. So, yung pagbabasa nito, guys, pareho lang din, no? Basta kung halimbawa, dito tayo sa monthly. Kasi ito yung karaniwan. Monthly compensation. Kung ang sweldo mo, 20,833 and below. So, wala. Ngayon, pagka ang sweldo mo ay 20,833 hanggang 33,332, yan yung tinatawag natin compensation range. So, meron ka ng babayaran na 0 withholding tax. Plus, no? Pero meron ka ditong 20% ng sobra sa 10,000 or 20% over 20,833. So, yung pangalawa, no? Ang compensation range mo ay 33,000 to 66,000. Meron ka ng tax dyan na babayaran na 2,500 plus pa yung 25% ng sobra doon sa 33,000. So, same din sila, guys, ng sistema dito sa pagbabasa dito sa Table 1. So, ganun lang naman yan. Pero ito ay withholding tax. Ibig sabihin, guys, no? Ulitin ko, withholding tax, ibinabawas na ito sa iyong monthly na salary. At yan ay nakikita ninyo sa inyong payslip. So, guys, no? Kung titingnan nyo lang ito, ay madali ninyong maunawaan kung paano basahin ito. Sa una, hindi naman agad-agad madaling makukuha nyo agad yan. Pero kung magbibigay kayo ng time para aralin ito, napakadali yan. So, pagdating nyo sa college, more and extensive lessons pagdating sa taxation. Kasi pagdating nga lang, guys, sa taxation, ay kinakailangan updated kayo. Kasi, kapag ang madalis nagbabago dahil sa mga bagong batas at sa mga amendments. Kaya yung mga old books ng taxation, well, medyo by principle yan, yung pa rin. Pero yung mga rates, so outdated na yon. So, dapat mag-refer sa pinakabago. So, hanggang dyan na lang, guys, ang ating lesson for this week. For our question of the week, Alan Jacob, a French citizen permanently residing in the Philippines, received several items during the taxable year. Which among the following is not subject to Philippine income taxation? Letter A, interest from his deposits in a local bank of foreign currency earned abroad converted to Philippine pesos. Letter B, gains derived from the sale of his condominium unit located in the Fort Taguig City to another resident alien. Letter C, consultancy fees received for designing a computer program and installing the same in the Shanghai facility of a Chinese firm. And letter D, dividends received from an American corporation which derived 60% of its annual gross receipts from Philippine sources for the past 7 years. So, write your answers on the comment section. So, that's all for this week, guys. See you again next week for our next topic. Have a nice day.